Robert Grieper along with Dan Day. And say what you want to say about Dolphins coach Mike McDaniel. And say what you want to say about Bills coach Sean McDermott. You can say Mike McDaniel can't win against good teams, although he won today. You could say that he blops at the podium. You could say Sean McDermott, the Bills win in spite of him. The fact of the matter is he's won a whole lot of games in this league. He's won a lot of playoff games in this league. He just can't beat Patrick Mahomes. Well, get in line for that one. But Grieper, you got to be honest. Mike McDaniel outcoached Sean McDermott today.
Did he?
Absolutely. Number one, you know that Mike McDaniel had a game plan. When he took the opening kick, winning the toss, saying, we have a game plan. We're going to try to control the ball. We're going to get on third downs. We're going to convert. We're going to do this. And you even said it. What are the Bills doing?
Yeah, I think that he tried too hard, really. Because if McDermott really looked at it, you have Josh Allen out there, one of the best quarterbacks in this league, hands down, and you didn't play to his strengths. You made him a finesse quarterback out there instead of making him the brute that he is. If you would have taken off, had a lot more waggles, if you would have played on that 4th and 1, instead of being cutesy and throwing the ball there and just pounded the ball on the Dolphins, you would have ended up scoring on that drive. And it would have been a whole different game.
What's been the recipe to beat the Dolphins all season long? Run it down their throat. You've got a quarterback and a running back. They're some of the best in the league. Run it down their throat and get after the quarterback. And it seemed like they didn't follow that recipe.
Yeah,
I kept waiting.
Get it.
I was like, when are they going to just pound us into the ground?
I was making the comment to you off the air. I'm kind of wondering if South Beach did its thing to them, because that was a lackluster Bills team from the get-go.
Yep.
And I'm wondering, did South Beach help out the Dolphins
If
today?
you have pictures or if you have video or if you have evidence that Bills Mafia, not just the Bills Mafia, but the Bills, the actual players on the Bills were out and about, maybe taking a little too much for granted.
Maybe they're hanging out at the elbow room with the fans out there. I don't know.
Send it my way at Dan Day Radio on all the social medias. 305-567-0560. Back to the phone lines. 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, shoot. I didn't even realize I was on. I was just on hold. I'm sorry. Season ticket holder from Long Island. We're down here from the game. We're driving back. Couple points I want to make quick. You had said earlier, is it a home game for the Bills? You still there?
Yeah, was it a home game for the Bills in your opinion?
Yeah. So you said it was a home game for the Bills. So yeah. So we got up and we're like, I walk up to the usher and I'm like, he's like, man, there's a lot of blue here. And I said, yeah, you're right. Yeah, and I said the only ones that can really shut them up is the team. You know, the fans can only do so much. We're here to help and root and everything. And like I said, at the end, when the team finally shut them up, we were able to yell and scream and be happy. So it was really on the team to shut the Bills fans down, because otherwise it would have been a very loud, home game for the Bills. So credit to the team for shutting the fans up, shutting those Bills fans up. Credit, and then for the fans, being there. I was quiet till the fourth quarter because I didn't believe it. I thought it was going to be, Charlie Brown.
You've been burned before.
Pulling the ball out.
Yeah.
They were going to get. They were going to. It wasn't real. So my other point that I wanted to say, the caller called up, crying about, oh, Tua, you think he's going to? These fans, the fans that are like, oh, Tua this, Tua that. If you just saw that if you have a game, you have this team, everything around you does right. Tua doesn't have to. He threw 2 picks and still beat a team with an all-star quarterback. That you scored 30 points on him, and he still threw 2 picks, which, the 2 picks, they turned out to be punts. But these fans that so caught up in these games that are like, oh, you shouldn't be happy. You shouldn't be. We got there at 9 a.m. We hung out. We have a group of people that we tailgate with. The whole game day experience. It's not just about. The game is just one part of it. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the game day experience. Enjoy the whole thing. I'm mad. There's nobody more mad than me. They've got pictures of me on the wall. You know, they see me, you know, I'm posted, watch out when I'm mad. Watch this guy. But, you know, there's nobody more pissed off when we lose. But if you're just going there and you're that miserable, or you're watching the game from home and you're that miserable and you can't just enjoy this win,
right?
Then just don't turn on the TV.
Right. You can go watch it on replay.
So I had to call up and say, I had to call up and just say, just those fans, just stop.
Yeah, it's like a Thanksgiving dinner. The turkey is the game, but the sides are all so good. The dessert is so sweet. The drinks and everything. It's a whole experience. And to be a fan, especially you who's had to travel from Long Island, you've done all the trip. You've invested a lot of time and money and heart into these games. To get a win against a rival, a division rival, and to beat them the way you beat them when they kind of waltzed into your house thinking this is just another day at the office and I don't have to do that much, and you shut them all up, it feels good.
Yes, thank you, exactly. My point exactly. I said to the Bills fans as they were walking out, I'm like, you know, you messed up my draft pick, you know, thanks for doing that, you know, messing around with them, but we had a good time. And I was like, just don't do one thing. Don't just pull me in and lose at the end. I'm like, either you guys beat the crap out of us and we go home, but don't drag me along and lose the game. We held out. It gave us a couple scares, but in the end, you know, they did it. You know, they played a complete game, complimentary. You know, they had a couple mistakes, but
we all do.
Put enough around Tua. And put enough around any quarterback, anyone, and they're going to just give you enough to win a game.
Right, that's the truth. And that's what a lot of people don't understand is that when everybody does their part and everybody plays to their potential, you can cover up mistakes. But when everybody doesn't play up to their potential, 2 interceptions, didn't hurt us at all. Won the game 30-13. Doesn't make you feel great, but at the same time, you make a mistake here and there. If everybody's playing complimentary football, it's okay. You feel all right. Buffalo Bills, I really do think they sleptwalked into this one and it was too late, too little too late. They woke up way too late. And at that point, there was already too much momentum for the Miami Dolphins. I was so proud of the way the Dolphins played with physicality. They played angry. They played with pride. They played like a team that had something to prove and that had been disrespected because with the way, the way the Bills played today, that was disrespectful. They looked terrible. Their fans were probably very upset. But I really think the Bills got lulled to sleep. And I kept thinking this. And that's why you never rule out anybody in the NFL. We talked to Vlad in the last segment. The Jets won today. The Saints won today. The Dolphins won today. It was one of those weeks. But that's why you never want to rule out a professional team because you look at the past couple of games between Miami and Buffalo, and we're a play or two away. And it always seems like Buffalo does the bare minimum to get by. And you always know you do that, one of these days, it's going to catch up to you. And today it caught up to the Bills because they probably came in, let's use as little energy as possible. Let's just get through this. Let's take our W and get moving on. And lo and behold, we smacked them in the face and did not let up. 305-567-0560, 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm Doug. I'm in Hollywood, Florida.
Doug, go ahead.
And I want these, my brother's number one. I hope he's listening. I'm tired of them saying Mike McDaniels needs to go. I don't think Mike McDaniels was the problem. It was just what he had around him. And that good thing, and what I always noticed, when teams fire somebody, it seems like that team plays much better that next game. And it's been happening so long. Chris Greer was somebody I wanted them to get rid of so long. And when they got rid of him, this team came out and played a phenomenal game, something I didn't expect. I was predicting them to lose 31-7. So I blame myself for being stupid today on that. But like the guys say, everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon, but I can see how easy it is to jump off it because the personnel they had who was leading the team. So I think they're going to be all right. I think they just got to – I still think Tua needs to go, but I don't think the coach needs to go. The coach needs to stay there.
I thought Mike McDaniel did a great job today. I think Mike McDaniel's actually having the best season of his – he's having the best year of his career, the way he's coached and adapted and tried to figure this thing out. I thought he had a great game plan against the Bills the first time they played. I thought today he definitely had a great game plan. He outcoached Sean McDermott. Honestly, I think Mike McDaniel is growing into his role. Now, could it be too little too late? I understand. And I also think a combination, Doug, a bunch of things are happening that happened this week. Number one, sometimes change is good. Chris Greer is
Yeah,
fired.
every time. Yeah, you're right.
Now, you
Change
understand?
is all-
Now, I understand Chris Greer getting fired. That doesn't immediately change anything other than maybe your mentality and maybe your psyche. So now the team thinks, okay, we're in a new era. This is something new. And also remember, now the trade deadline has passed. Everyone is settled down. They know where they're going to be at for the next 10 games. They're not sitting there saying, ooh, am I going to get traded? Or, ooh, is this guy next to me going to be gone? What's this team going to look like? They now have that clarity. So I think it's a new era in a way, psychologically at least. And of course it will be when we get a new general manager, but also now the team just is more settled and focused because there's no trade rumors and none of that circling around the team. And therefore, you get a team that comes out. And I think, to be honest with you, I think Dolphins came and they were, I don't know if I can say it. I'll be careful. I think they were PO'd. I think, they've been beat up by the Bills forever. They probably realized the Bills came in. You probably saw it early in the field. I don't know how it was when warm-ups, but probably looked at them and said, they're not taking us serious. Half the stadium, or maybe a little less than half the stadium, a lot of Bills fans always go to the game, but they came here. They're on a vacation. They're not on a business trip. And I think the Dolphins had some pride and said, you know what? Screw this. We're going to take it to them. You know what? If they beat us, but we're going to give it to them. And they gave it to them. 305-567-0560. Give it to me. 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Go ahead.
Hello?
Hey, go ahead.
Hey, what's up, man? This is Dylan from Kendall, man. This is a Fireman fan I called last week.
Yeah, glad to have you. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I'm part of the deep end crew, so I'm in 129. We had Bills fans all around us.
Ugh.
And let me tell you, today was a good day.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I'm not a stupid football fan. I don't think we're gonna win 7 straight and make it to the playoffs and have a first round exit. I'm not stupid. But this Chris Greer firing, I called you guys last week and told you the first thing that needs to happen is Chris Greer needs to get fired.
Well, it happened.
And sure as shit, it happened. Sorry about that. But it happened. I'm sorry about that. But it happened. And I'm very happy about that because the team seems to be playing a lot happier and a lot more energetic.
A lot freer.
Without Greer. And to me it's crazy because we've been calling for his firing for years as fans. We knew that it was once we fired him, this team would have a little bit of pep in their step. And it's just crazy to me how something like even trading Jalen Phillips, and yes, he was a great player, but man, he missed sacks all season.
You're right.
And today there wasn't many sacks that were missed when we did sack Josh Allen.
That is true.
When we did have a play in the backfield. There wasn't much missed. So honestly, it was kind of a good thing that we traded him and we got a little bit more than a bag of chips for him, which is a good thing.
3rd round pick.
And I commend the interim GM for doing that, which at least we did something, because if we had just stayed still all season, the next, us season ticket holders are
right.
We were fed up, and I called you guys last week and I was pissed,
well,
because we got embarrassed.
I want to ask you this. Let me ask you this. Maybe psychologically, these players, they saw Chris Greer get fired. It's a new era. This is the new Dolphins team, and they've embraced
100%.
that.
100%.
But being the Dolphins fan that you are, now they are in a new era. They feel great. They did great against Buffalo. You could see them going next week to Madrid and laying an egg also, realistically.
100%.
That could happen.
I can see that because for some reason the Dolphins always play down to competition.
Right. They played great today.
With Jaden Daniels being out, next thing you know, the backup quarterback's going to throw over 400 yards.
Marcus Mariota. No, Marcus Mariota's hurt too, so it's a third-string quarterback.
And Mariota's not bad. He's never been a terrible quarterback.
The Atlanta Falcons might argue that, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, but he was an interim for the Falcons.
Right.
He wasn't their future. Right. But he's never been. When he was in Tennessee, he was whooping up on teams.
Yeah, until Ryan Tannehill came in. Sorry, I brought up that name.
Until our quarterback, who came in with an O-line and an actual running back
and a good coach,
and a good coach, came in. The same thing's going to happen with Tua. I'm calling it now.
Oh no.
I'm calling it now. I'm saying the same thing's going to happen with Tua. Either we keep him next year, or even after the year after that, he's gone, and whoever the new coach comes in and wants his own quarterback or whatever happens.
Right.
But what's going to happen is Tua's going to go somewhere, and even if he rests a year, just like Tannehill did, Tannehill wasn't the starter initially.
Nope.
He took over for Mariota.
Right.
He stole that job from Mariota because he was better.
Well,
he had a line.
All we got right now, it's a new era without Chris Grier. For the longest, the fans
100%.
at least, the fans have wanted Chris Grier gone. He has been gone for one game, and lo and behold, that one game, the Dolphins beat the Bills 30-13.
And the crazy thing is, I was calling earlier today. I was saying, man, I've been a season ticket forever. I know how football works. I thought today we were going to get absolutely destroyed, but with what happened today, I'm like, this team isn't that bad. We need some help in the secondary. We need some help on the O-line for sure, 100%. Maybe the new GM comes in, starts, instead of the first pick being a quarterback, maybe you start stacking some O-line on him.
Francis Mallory,
maybe. Why not? Why not?
I would not be opposed to that.
To me, I would stack the first 2 or 3 picks on O-line and D-line. Because Kenneth Grant hasn't done anything.
One more question for you. And if and people say, Chris Grier, what does it matter? No. When you think about another team here in South Florida that is extremely successful, which is the Florida Panthers.
Right.
What has been one of the reasons why the Florida Panthers have maintained and been as successful as they've been the past couple of years?
One, to me, it's all about positivity and not only making your players happy, but having a good locker room. When players lose, that morale goes down. But when the quarterback keeps getting sacked over and over again, we saw it with Tannehill. Tannehill got sacked so much when he was with us because, again, the GM before Chris Grier and Chris Grier didn't pick O-linemen. We had no line. We got rid of Jake Long in 2010 or 2011, whenever it was, who was our solid left tackle. And after that, next thing you know, it was just straight up blindside hits on Tannehill. And then everyone wanted to call for Tannehill's head. So to me, it starts with the O-line. Yes, you need a quarterback 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it starts with O-line. And I'm a football coach too. So I coach and I played O-line for 13 years.
Ooh.
To me, a football team starts with the line in the trenches. A quarterback isn't going to change everything. We see it this year with Cam Ward. Cam Ward is trash for Tennessee. He's not that good, but everyone in Miami was all over him last year. And I'm a Gator fan, so DJ Lagway sucks too. But it's everyone was all over Cam Ward. But now you see him in the NFL with no line and actual athletes that are attacking him, and he's got nothing.
Yeah, that's one of those things when you've got good people around you doing good things, like the Dolphins today had good people doing good things. Everybody gets a little bit better and everything seems a little bit easier. But getting back to the whole thing, it's all about getting the right people in the right places. The Panthers got a general manager that does a great job. A general manager who came in and said, we had the best regular season of any team last year. We're going to get a new coach. A new coach that comes in and says, look, we're not going to worry so much about our regular season record. We're going to worry about the playoffs. Got a guy, Matthew Tkachuk, who comes in and says, we're going to change the culture of this locker room. Tampa Bay Lightning, I hope you enjoyed the days you had when you owned us because that's over. General manager that every trade deadline comes up with miraculous trades and deals. You get those right people in place. That's how you change things. And, once again, is Chris Grier a sacrificial lamb? Well, time will tell. Probably not. He probably needed to go. We probably know that. But could be a new era here in Miami, and that is exciting. And maybe this is the game, like I said. And once again, this could be pie in the sky. This could be me, hopeful Dolphins fan. But maybe this is the game 2-3 years from now. We look back and said it all changed. That week we fired Chris Grier and we beat the Buffalo Bills. We might not have won out that season, but that was the game where we saw this Dolphins organization change. That's my hope. 305-567-0560. Hope to talk to you. Let's go back to the phone lines. 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's going on, my brother? It's Abel. How you doing today?
Where you at, Abel?
Brother, look, a couple of weeks ago, I called you after that Thursday night game, and I was just soundless and had nothing to say. But I'll tell you what, brother, I will not take an opportunity. I will not waste an opportunity to bash and talk crap about our arch rival, the Bills.
Woo!
So whether the season sucks, whether we're having a bad, horrible season where we're 3-7, we're not going to go. I don't give an absolute damn, because we took it to the Buffalo Bills. When was the last time we took it to them? And we should have beaten them up in Archer Park earlier this year. I don't give an absolute crap about what the score was or what the record was heading into this game. We gave it to Josh Allen. We gave it to McDermott. We gave it to Milano. That bum that he is, always talking crap. And all those Bills fans yesterday, I was at the Kings game, and there's a bunch of Syracuse fans wearing Bills hat and said, oh, we're going to go 2-0 this weekend at Hard Rock Stadium. This is New York Stadium. Oh, yeah? What happened yesterday? And what happened today? Thank you for coming down, spending all that money. Maybe the elbow room's going to use that money to remodel it a little bit. Thank you for wasting our spot. That little bar down on Coral Way, the blind spot or wherever the hell it's called, they're a Bills fan bar. I hope you had a great time. And I'm not going to allow no damn Gator fan to be calling into your hotline right now like that last caller talking about Cam Ward. Brother, you lost to Cam Ward, so you have no say into no Cam Ward bashing. Let's go, Miami. What a weekend, baby. 5-0. Inter won yesterday. The Panthers won. The Heat won back-to-back. The Kings took it to them, and the Dolphins kept it off. 305 weekend, baby. Let's celebrate. We don't have many of these.
Abel, this is a winning weekend, baby. We got everything, man. We own everything, and it's so
everything.
It's so nice.
Everything.
This Buffalo Bills Mafia. We taking over. We're doing this. This is Buffalo South. It's like shut up and sit down.
Sit down. Wear your stupid blue jerseys. Walk around. Thank you for spending all that money. Oh, can I give you $80 to break a table? Can I buy that table? Screw you. Go to Plaza Walmart and buy your damn table. I ain't selling you crap. I'm going to make sure you're not enjoying any single time when you're down here. Screw the Bills. Screw the Patriots. Screw the Jets. For life. I don't give a damn.
That is the way a true fan speaks right there. Abel, my man, talking. And this is all fun. This is why you have these rivalry games, and you beat your chest and you shout it out and you say, hell yeah, like sit down, shut up, say all that other stuff. And now I'll add to it. Bills, you can't beat Patrick Mahomes. You can't beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. And now you can't beat the Miami Dolphins, at least today.